Hello and welcome to Audiobook Connection, behind the scenes with the creative teams. I'm Becky Parker-Geist and I'm your host. Audiobook Connection is your place to learn about the audiobook creative process and for authors to learn valuable tips on producing and marketing your audiobooks. This podcast is sponsored by Pro Audio Voices, helping great stories come alive through audiobook production and marketing. Hi, and welcome to Audiobook Connection podcast. We are talking about audiobook launch strategy, and this is part 2 of this series of the Ultimate Audiobook Launch Strategy. So, in part 1, and I encourage you to go listen to it because there's a lot in there, but just a quick overview, we started with making clear and staying connected with your why behind your audiobook, book, and publishing work. Positioning your audiobook launch as an event, not just a release. Launching first on Amplify Audiobooks for maximum impact. And then we also covered hosting an audiobook launch event through Amplify and the benefits of that. And then we finished up with inviting your narrator into the conversation. I'm Becky Parker-Geist. I'm the host here at Audiobook Connection. Let's jump into part 2. Okay, so another thing that we can do as we're preparing our launch is that we can use limited time launch pricing. What do I mean by that? I mean that as we're building this urgency and this excitement, that including pre-launch pricing or early bird pricing creates that urgency, right? We're building anticipation and excitement, and offering that special deal, that early bird pricing, can really help. And with Amplify Audiobooks, you have that complete control over your pricing. No one else is telling you what you need to charge or if you can change it or not. You have direct control over that. So what I suggest is that you use that tool. And as we discussed on the part 1 of this series, the idea of launching first on Amplify Audiobooks really gives you a big advantage in the audiobook world. All right. Another reason why you might want to use that limited time launch pricing is to reward your core supporters for buying early. Buying early helps you, right? It not only feels really validating, but it helps you financially. And so we want to encourage and reward our supporters for being there for us. We are as authors and listeners, we are a community together. And so we want to treat each other well. You rewarding your supporters also will encourage them to support you by buying on Amplify, which is where you're going to have the highest return on your investment and the highest royalties from any sales that take place, or all sales that take place. So, pre-order pricing may be available if your audiobook is being produced by Pro Audio Voices. Then pre-orders even before your audiobook is complete and produced, that is an option for you. Because we have control over the audiobook production aspect, it gives us confidence that we know we can trust that it will actually be done. And so we can therefore offer that pre-order option. If it's being produced somewhere else, we don't have control over that. And so the risk would be that you'd be selling something that never showed up. And that would just create a mess, right? So that's an advantage to getting your audiobook produced with Pro Audio Voices. But pre-order pricing is not mandatory. If you're coming onto the platform and launching through the platform, we just need to wait until your audiobook files are fully approved and ready, and then you can schedule your launch. That's no problem. We just need to make sure that the audio is fully ready and approved. Another thing about launch pricing is that it really acts like a thank you to your community. So it is an expression of gratitude and excitement, kind of wrapped into one. So that's a great thing to be using when you're launching on Amplify. One of the next things that or a part of your launch campaign should include an email campaign. You can use a special coupon code if you would like. Now, I don't recommend that you use both the coupon code and the special promotional pricing at the same time. You can, but I don't think you need to, and then it'll cut into your profits overall. So I suggest that you use them separately. You could do launch pricing right up until launch day and then shift over to a coupon code for your followers if you wanted to do something like that. But so you want to strategize how you're going to use a special coupon code or discount code for your audiobook. If you're not doing promotional pricing, or let's say you are, but then now the audiobook is launched, either way, you could give your subscribers an exclusive launch discount through using a coupon code. You could use a coupon code for specific groups of people that you may be a part of. So maybe an association that you're part of that really fits into your target audience. That's a great way to use a discount code. You always want to include direct links to your audiobook on Amplify. It just makes it easier for everyone. When they go through the purchase process, they will have to set up an account so that the account can be linked to, so it knows that they have purchased that audiobook. The best thing is to send them a link directly to your audiobook on Amplify. And then with your email, create a sequence. So a sequence just means a series of emails, and space them. Here's one thing you could do. If you want, you could ask AI or ask somebody that you know that is really good at marketing for your particular audience, what would be an appropriate cadence, how frequently you should send those emails, and what would be an ideal number of emails for your launch. But I'm going to say that you typically want to have at least an announcement about the launch itself. So on launch day, like reminders about whether it's pricing that's going to change or a discount code that's going to expire. Use those triggers as reasons to send an email. It's really for the benefit of your listeners or your potential listeners to let them know, remind them if a pricing discount is going to disappear, they would want to know, I think. And the other thing too is, is like we're so busy, right? We have so much information. We are all have information overload. So we need these reminders. Think of it not as just a way to bombard your following, but rather as a way to provide them with valuable information and keep them apprised of what could impact them. If they want to get the audiobook and join in the conversation, then they should get it while they can still save money. That's a nice thing to do, right? Okay. Also, in those emails, I would encourage you to not just make it promotional copy. You definitely should include the link to your page and any other key information they need to know about pricing changes or anything. But one of the things that will most draw us in are personal stories. So if you can share a personal story about your audiobook or about something that is related, this is much more likely to get someone to actually read your emails. All right. So that's the emails. Now, what else can we do as a part of our audiobook launch? we can coordinate that email campaign with a social media campaign. And yes, just pulling back for a moment and looking at the overview, this might just sound like, oh my gosh, there are so many things to do. Yes, and isn't that cool? What if there was only one thing that was available to do in order to let the world know about your audiobook and your work? That would probably be pretty frustrating. So the good news is that there are a lot of ways that we can let the world know about what we're up to. So let's have fun and take advantage of those. Also, I want to say, just backing up a smidge to the email campaign, is in Amplify Audiobooks itself, there is a section in the marketing workshop that is templates and tips and tutorials. In that section, there are template emails that you can use just to get you started. And they're different. They're based on different genres. So like a children's author would use a very different kind of template than, let's say, a romance or a self-help or a mystery thriller author would be sending to their followers. So we're trying to, again, make it as easy as possible for you to provide you with a range of tools to help you succeed. And now coming back again to social media, there will be tips and templates in there as well. With your social media campaign, some of the fun things that you can do with an audiobook, you could share clips, short clips, and you want to really pick out ones that are going to draw people in or make them surprised or get them on the edge of their seat so they want to see more. So you can use these clips from your audiobook to share, and you can just share them as audio with a still picture, or there are ways to have, for example, your book cover and just it has like a sound wave kind of animation to it. They're also perfectly fine. So it's like making mini videos of an audio clip. All right. You can also post behind-the-scenes production stories from your audiobook. People love behind-the-scenes stories. Most people don't get a view into that world, and it's a pretty cool place to be. So posting behind-the-scenes production stories and pictures can be really, really fun. Typically, when we do full cast productions and we're recording in Zoom calls so that we're able to have the actors directly interact with each other, even though they're recording into their own professional DAWs, digital audio workstations, we will snap pictures, where you get that behind the scenes image, and then we provide those to the authors who can share them as a part of their marketing. So pretty fun. You could also use like quote graphics. You could do narrator spotlight posts. Some of the graphics, I will just say, there are several tools out there. I think one of the most popular, one that we use, is Canva. It works really well. They have a lot of tools in there to make it easier to create social media posts. And so that is a tool. You can get a free account or a paid account, whatever works best for you. You can also, and I encourage you to do this, when you are posting on social media, use the purchase link, so the direct link to your audiobook on Amplify. Use those links in every post and tag your narrator if that's possible, or tag your audiobook producer. Tag the people who are connected with the project, because all of those people have an interest in your success and will help spread the word and share that post out. You want to encourage listeners also to share screenshots and reactions that they have had. And you could do that possibly through your email campaign, but also as part of your social media campaign. All right, let's do one more, and then we're going to take a short pause. Okay, you can use the invite tools in your Amplify dashboard and kind of sprinkled throughout the Amplify dashboard, really, because it is so valuable to invite your people to the platform to see your audiobook, to learn more about you, to visit your author page, to follow you there, to follow your narrator. All of these things are really helpful to you. And so we want to make this as easy as possible rather than having to, create a separate email, which you could also do. I'm just saying. You can also do that and include a link to your page and should. But we make it so that it's super easy right in the platform. Just click the button to send an invitation, and then you can easily invite friends, family, readers, followers, podcast listeners, if you have a podcast, all of these people, personally invite them to your account or to your pages on Amplify Audiobooks. So you want to ask also, people who are your followers generally are people who would like to help you. And when you have a small inner circle of superfans, these are people to ask them to help spread the word. Ask them. If it feels hard to ask, keep this in mind. If you don't ask them, they won't know that you want them to. That might sound silly, but it's true. We need to be able to ask for the help that we would like to have. So help your followers. They will actually appreciate, if they really are your fans, they will appreciate being able to help you and knowing how to help you. It's really nice to have that kind of friendship and that kind of connection. And that's what we're building on Amplify Audiobooks, is community. We're deepening the connection between authors and their listeners. We're drawing you together through a range of means, through a range of tools that will help us deepen that relationship and get closer together. And we want to make it easy for supporters to share links and to share recommendations, because that's so important. We are so busy. We need it to be easy, but we also really need connection. Let's take a short pause and we'll come right back. Okay, real talk. What if your audiobook platform actually helped you sell your audiobook? Actually helped you. Like email templates and tools, promo campaigns, discount codes, listener insights, ways to connect with other authors for cross promotions, and to connect with listeners, where you can host events or even run an audiobook club with a built-in community that's excited to discover new voices. That's Amplify Audiobooks. You see, it's not just a place to list your audiobook in hopes of a transaction. No, it's a place to market it, to grow your audience and actually connect with listeners who care. You can run promotions, engage your fans, and be part of a creative community that's all about lifting up indie authors and small publishers, not burying them in an algorithm somewhere. Oh, and yeah, you'll also earn 2 to 4 times more royalties than the usual platforms. How about that? So if you're ready to stop whispering into the void and start building real momentum, head over to amplifyaudiobooks.com. Amplify Audiobooks, where your stories don't just live, they thrive. Another way that you can build out your audiobook launch is to ask to have your title included in one of the audiobook clubs that are on the platform. Now, you may not know about those yet, and they are still fairly new at the time of this recording. So basically, the way this works is like a regular book club, meaning real people meeting in real time, but meeting online. because that way we can have more voices included, more people included in the clubs. And I just have to pause for a second because I have to tell you, I saw something on one of the audiobook retail platforms, the standard ones, and it said audiobook clubs. I was like, oh, are they doing that too? And I went to look at what it was. You know what it was? It was just a curated list within a genre. That's it. That's not a club. That's a curated list. And so it frustrates me, when people abuse the language and try to call something just to get over the hurdle of an objection, to misname something or to mislead people that it's one thing that it's not. We know what book clubs are. We know that it's real people meeting in real time. So let's not abuse that term, right? So anyway, that's my little rant on the side. Anyway, there are audiobook clubs, real ones, on Amplify Audiobooks, and you can ask to have your title included in one of those audiobook clubs. The best way to do that is simply join the club that you would like it to be in, and then offer it up as a title for consideration. You can also reach out directly to the host and ask for that consideration. It's a great way to get your book talked about, get more people to buy your book because they're already expressing an interest in a genre or type of audiobook that you have. Okay, and then you can, it's easiest if you're already a part of the group, the club, and it would make sense, right? But if for any reason, either the club decides that it might feel uncomfortable for them to have the author there, although frankly, I think the exact opposite will be the most common case, you just be in touch with the host about what feels appropriate for this particular group. All right. And then when you attend those club discussions, that can be a really great way to get talking with your followers and your listeners and to get their feedback and to share your own experience and to hear their experiences. That is a great way to draw you together with your listeners, to deepen those relationships. And when we have those deeper relationships, guess what happens? People recommend your audiobook to their friends. One of the biggest ways, I think it is still the top way, that people decide what their next audiobook listen is going to be, is by word of mouth recommendation. That's what we're building here. We're building that word of mouth recommendation through drawing or deepening this relationship with your listeners. Also, I highly recommend that when you are going to have your audiobook discussed, that you provide in advance discussion questions or bonus materials. That can be a really fun thing to include for the people who are in this audiobook club specifically. They're going to get something very special. You have the opportunity as well. You could offer, let's say you join an audiobook club and you say, I would really love to have my book discussed. And for members of this group, I have a discount code available. So if the group is, votes to to select my title as one of the titles, I'm happy to offer a discount. That would be a nice thing to do for your book club that you're a part of. All right, we're going to stop here for today. Again, I feel like I'm sort of fire hosing information out there and ideas. I want to give it to you in chunks so that it's digestible and you can take action on these things. You can start thinking them through, building out your audiobook strategy. And just speaking of strategy, I'm going to throw in this one thing. When you're an author on Amplify Audiobooks, we have a monthly free marketing call. All you have to do is register, show up. We'll be there. I'll be there to answer questions, to address marketing strategies, ideas, inspire you with different ways to approach your work through Amplify and beyond. So it's the platform really is it's a marketing platform where we're focused on drawing people together through their audiobook experiences. I hope this is my ask for you today. If you are not yet on Amplify Audiobooks, whether you're a listener or an author or a narrator, whoever you are, you're here listening to this podcast, so I am going to trust that you have some connection to the audiobook world. And as such, I would ask, please go to amplifyaudiobooks.com. Start free. Everybody starts free. Just start there and open an account there so that you can look around, you can explore the platform, join us, be part of this movement that we are creating where authors can succeed with their audiobooks and where listeners can come together and get so many benefits. There are so many benefits. I'm going to do a whole episode just on talking about listener benefits on the Amplify Audiobooks platform. That's coming up, probably not for a few weeks yet, but it will be. And so I want to really encourage you to be part of our community. We're trying to make a really, really big difference in the world, and you can be a part of that. I'm glad that you're here today. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll catch you on the next one. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us for Audiobook Connection, behind the scenes with the creative teams. Please take a moment to subscribe at audiobookconnection.com. The podcast is sponsored by Pro Audio Voices, helping great stories come alive through audiobook production and marketing. Learn more at proaudiovoices.com. Again, thanks for being with us, and please join us next week.